Hello, members and friends of Emmanuel. This is our first video devotion for our upcoming stewardship emphasis. And as you've seen in the graphic at the beginning, but also in our weekly emails, our theme this year is faithful, hopeful, and loving. And we'll take a look at each word in our devotions and in Sundays as we go through our theme this year. But that first word is faithfulness. How does stewardship connect with the idea of faithfulness or faithful living as followers of Christ? One of my favorite examples from Scripture that connects with that word is from Mark chapter 9. And Mark chapter 9 is the story of a young boy being brought to Jesus. In fact, he was first brought to the disciples, but the disciples are unable to heal him, unable to cast out this spirit that's been causing him to be mute, but also to go into convulsions and seizures. And so, not unable to heal him, the disciples bring the young boy and the father to Jesus. In Mark chapter 9:23, it says, Jesus says to the father, "If you can believe, all things are possible." Meaning, if you can believe, your son will be healed. And then verse 24 says, immediately the boy's father cried out. Just think about the emotions that the father has been going through, trying to get his son to be healed. He cries out to Jesus and says, "Jesus, I do believe. Help my unbelief. I do believe, but also help my unbelief." Sometimes I think we see doubt and faith as total opposites. But oftentimes in our lives, we are a mixture of emotions and feelings, right? We do have faith, but at the same time, doubt can easily creep in. For me, that's a good picture of where I find I am at all the time. God, I do believe, but at the same time, I need you to help me to truly believe, to help me to put all my trust and hope in you, especially during difficult circumstances in our lives. In just a week, we are going through a presidential election that's heated. We're going through a pandemic. We're going through our own personal struggles that create that mixture of feelings and emotions in our lives. And so it's a reminder for me today that faithfulness isn't always feeling faithful. It's not believing without any doubt. It's stepping out in faith and trusting that God is faithful, that God will see you through your doubt, that God is walking with you in the midst of whatever is going on in your life. We'll see that again in the story of Abraham and Sarah, who themselves step out in faith, but they themselves also doubt a lot. And so I want to connect that idea of faithfulness to stewardship as well. Stewardship is not just money, as we've talked about, giving to the church or some sort of charity that you feel passionate about, but it's a whole self-response. We often talk about time, talents, and treasure. How can our whole lives be faithful responses to God? Even when at times we don't feel like we're all that faith-filled, even when doubt is taking over. It's that step out in faith, trusting that when we can't be faithful enough, that God is faithful. So as we continue this theme, and as we'll look at our story from Genesis on Sunday, I invite you to think how faithfulness can be a part of your stewardship response, a whole self-response to God this year. Have a blessed week.